Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Moorhead fire officials are investigating the cause of a fire that caused a bunch of people, kicked a bunch of people out into the cold this morning. Valley News Live's Abby Furchner has our story.
Disbelief. That's what one tenant at Ridgewood Place 2 apartments in South Moorhead had to say about being woken up to her building on fire early this morning.
I called 911, but my main concern was to get my other tenants out. And I went door to door and banged on my neighbors' doors to make sure that they were alert to get out.
The call came in around 5 a.m. and shortly after, both Moorhead and Fargo fire departments were on scene.
Our crews rolled up and they had heavy smoke and flames coming from the first floor, rolling up into the second floor and the deck. And they had a quick knockdown and were able to keep it out of the second floor.
And while they did everything they could, that first floor apartment has been left with heavy damage. Captain Berg says 2 people were home when the fire broke out, but did make it out safely, along with 8 other residents. Once the smoke had been cleared and crews said it was safe, residents were able to go back inside their apartments. Carr says she's lived here a long time and is close with many of her neighbors. She says she'd hate to see anything happen to them.
In the 9 years, I've come close to all my tenants, and everything. It's good to get to know your neighbors in case of something like this does happen, that they know somebody's looking out for them.
4 families are being displaced at this time. The area Red Cross is helping those families with housing and necessities. In Moorhead, Abby Furchner, Valley News Live.
No injuries were reported. We don't have a damage estimate yet or a cause of the fire. Along with the Red Cross, the Salvation Army was also on scene this morning. We did a nice jump today, back into the 20s. Actually felt pretty nice out there. Hutch, any weather worries for this evening?
Well, the main weather worry is that you continue to keep bundled up, because with clear skies and calm winds, it's going to be a chilly one out there. Right now, there's a little bit of snow showing up on the radar way out east towards Duluth. But other than that, we have high and dry conditions across the valley. Upper teens still here in the FM area as we've lost to 20s now. Lower teens up in the north, where Grand Forks is at a cool 10-degree reading this hour. This evening, temperatures slip down through the teens through the evening hours. Overnight, we're down into the single digits with a light south breeze. We should stay crystal clear all night. And if you're heading outdoors in Grand Forks, likewise, single digits are right around the corner as we head into the evening hours. Our mild stretch of weather looks to be intact. I'll have details on that and any chances of snow in the upcoming 7 days here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. It's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 41-year-old Ricky Lee Hendershot is wanted in Otter Tail and Crow Wing counties for first-degree felony drug sale. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on Hendershot. Police are looking for a man who robbed a Moorhead convenience store at gunpoint early this morning. It happened just after 2 a.m. at the Holiday Station store at 725 30th Avenue South. Police say the man was wearing a black mask and a black hooded sweatshirt. He showed a handgun, demanded money, and got away with cash. A K-9 team was brought in to search for the suspect, but could not find anyone. One little boy battling cancer got the treat of a lifetime as Monster Jam invited him out to meet some drivers from the show. Bill Hudson has more on the story.
They're loud, over-the-top monster machines that can't help but capture a kid's wonder.
Will deserves to come out to Monster Jam and be a kid.
But that's tough when the road's been rocky and you're barely 5.
The last 5 weeks he was held up in the house, not be able to do anything. So we're just very, very excited that, this makes up for those 5 weeks.
Will Crispin's battle with cancer and a recent hip surgery took a back seat today in the cab of the 1,500 horsepower Max D.
He's just always loved monster trucks.
So imagine his thrill of being scooped up by the arms of a driver with a bag of goodies to boot.
An exclusive, your own, limited version, limited time, Love Your Melon Monster Jam beanie.
Tom Mintz is behind the wheel of the mean-looking Max D with nothing but kindness in his heart.
And then for them to be able to get the chance to see the show and only think about Monster Jam trucks, the show Saturday night, what a touching, heartfelt time for me and certainly for Will.
On Saturday night, 50,000 spectators will fill U.S. Bank Stadium, but today, one boy had it all to himself.
And that's what we're providing here this weekend, is giving Will the opportunity to just be a kid for a night and give that family something that they just will never forget and they'll talk about for years.
Medical challenges that, for the moment at least, can be tossed aside by a monster-sized sandbox.
Organizers say they hope to help more kids have a chance of a lifetime, just as Will did. Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day is being recognized in Minnesota. There was a ceremony today at Fort Snelling to honor those who died in the attack 77 years ago. The keynote speaker was author Richard Klobuchar, who's written a lot about World War II and specifically Pearl Harbor. It's a gift that may well forever change the lives of students in a southeastern North Dakota school district for a very long time. The Richland 44 School District today got a check for more than $4.5 million from the family of Daryl Hendrickson. The money will be used to help high school graduates pay for college. Hendrickson farmed in the Colfax area for years. He was never married. He was known as a wonderfully pleasant man, and he was always grateful for the community and the people in it, so wanted to give something back.
To receive a gift like this to further the education of students who graduate from Richland 44 long into the future means so much, because it is such a rare thing that happens, and it is a real blessing to our communities and to our school district.
The school board is putting together a plan to protect this gift and help it grow. It is also working on scholarship qualifications and applications. They hope to have that process wrapped up this spring. The largest provider of health insurance in North Dakota will be under new leadership after next year. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota President and CEO Tim Huckle has announced plans to retire in January 2020. The insurer says Chief Legal Officer Dan Conrad will transition into the CEO position over the next year. An NDSU student is breathing a sigh of relief today after finally getting out of her housing contract. It's a story you only saw here on Valley News Live when Christina Keurig reached out to our whistleblower hotline saying NDSU's Disability Services denied her request, even though she had a doctor's order saying that Keurig shouldn't live on campus at all. Keurig suffers from severe anxiety and depression, and her living situation only made matters worse. However, Disability Services told Keurig it sounded more like a roommate issue, despite that doctor's note. But after talking with our team last week, Keurig says today she signed papers and broke that contract, getting her $2,000 refund. If you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. If you are in need of a feline friend, it might be time to stop by Homeward Animal Shelter. It's holding a feline flash sale starting today, running through Sunday. Homeward Animal Shelter has drastically reduced the adoption fees on all adult cats 6 months and older to only $25. Adoption fees include vaccination for distemper and rabies, feline leukemia FIV test, microchipping, deworming, flea tick treatment, wellness exam, and spay or neuter. Homeward Animal Shelter says all the kittens are $65 or 2 for $109. Realtors Ring Day started in 2010 by the Fargo-Moorhead Area Association of Realtors, and this year 34 states join in ringing bells throughout the day. Today, FM Realtors are at all 32 Red Kettle locations and hope to give 320 hours of ringing by 8 p.m. tonight.
It's just heartwarming, you know, and there's so many of us that do this throughout the holiday season. It's not just one person, it's an entire community that comes out to help those that are less fortunate.
This year, the Realtors are hoping to raise $40,000. It's a story we brought you last night. One woman is asking Bison fans to donate tickets to this weekend's game against the Colgate Raiders in an effort to fill the Fargo Dome with veterans. Alana Christensen started the ticket drive on Facebook, saying she hopes every seat is filled on Saturday, with the majority of those in attendance being veterans. Roughly 70 tickets had been donated by Thursday afternoon, but as of this morning, Christensen says that number is up to 120. Don't forget to join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison Football pregame show. Our entire gang will be in to bring you the latest on this quarterfinal matchup. And then it's kickoff at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Gas prices are looking good for holiday travel. The Brake driver